Good morning and welcome to the Next Gen Planners Big Breakfast Conference Special.
My name is Dan Graham.
And I'm Amanda Watson, and we are here every day during conference week to bring you insights from amazing people in financial planning.
So thank you so much to everyone who has attended these shows this week. It's been a packed week. We've had, well, by the end of the week, we will have had, how many is that? We'll have probably had, how many will we have had? We've had about 20 guests on throughout the week, maybe even pushing 25 guests. So it's been a really packed week full of some amazing people. So thank you so much. And of course, we've had some big topics this week, and we want to hear from you guys on those big topics. And today's big topic is digital client engagement.
Yes, so on the show today, we've got three awesome guests. First up, we've got Jenkins from Moneyinfo, followed by Ray Adams, who will be giving us a 10-minute monologue about digital client engagement and cash flow planning. And wrapping things up today will be Duff and Rob Harradine from Ammonite. So let's get straight into the show today with our first guest. It's Jenkins from Moneyinfo.
Morning, Ollie. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. Yeah, not too bad at all. Thank you for having us on the show today, Dan.
No, it's an absolute pleasure.
Brilliant. Sorry, I was going to say, we're really excited about all of the upcoming activity that Moneyinfo have got planned with the Next Gen community over the next few weeks, including the mega conference and the CPD event in a day. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're good, thank you. I mean, you've just stolen my first question there, because I was going to say, what are you most why did you guys choose to sponsor the mega conference, and what are you most excited about? But you just answered for us perfectly, so there's no need to do that question. I mean, you can carry on if you want.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, Dan, as well, you know, everyone at Moneyinfo, we love working here, and we're really proud of how we're helping ambitious, forward-thinking firms to deliver game-changing client engagement. We get loads of inquiries from people that are moving up the ranks in advisory businesses who know what the future model of advice looks like. And we think that a lot of Next Gen members are in that space, and engaging with the Next Gen community helps us to push our rhetoric up to the decision makers in those firms. Well, that's if those ambitious planners haven't already set up their own businesses.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, it's lovely to have you on board. Thank you so much for the sponsorship and for getting involved this year. It's really nice to have you on board. So as Amanda mentioned there, the big topic today is digital client engagement. And this is something that you guys really focus on, as you just mentioned there, at Moneyinfo. But when we think back, how far do you think that our profession, financial planning, has come when it comes to digital client engagement over the past decade or so?
Yeah, great question, Dan. Thank you. So, in my opinion, not far enough, to be honest. Smartphones have been around since the early noughties, yet 20 years later, very few planning firms are delivering any sort of mobile interaction experience still. I mean, that's just insane, isn't it? Obviously, the pandemic has accelerated how people want to communicate and access their own information. And this is the new benchmark of how they're going to be judging your technology. Your clients are going to be comparing their experiences of using your tech against more mainstream B2C services, like how they'd use their mobile device to, say, order a taxi or book a night away in a treehouse, or, you know, having pizza dropped off on a Thursday afternoon. When your clients book a takeout, do you think they, first of all, conduct a search of local restaurants on a web browser app? Secondly, look at a trust ratings app, see how many stars each one's got. Thirdly, go onto a restaurant's own app to order the food. Fourthly, book a taxi to collect the food using yet another app. And finally, use an online payments app to pay for the food and the taxi. Of course they don't, but why would their expectation of how you deliver your service be any different? One of the things that we've noticed we feel is that if you ignore these behavioural changes, let that be at your peril. It's the equivalent to a high street shop only opening for a couple of hours each day. And we all regularly hear about what's happening to the demise of the high streets.
Yeah, definitely. So one of the key things that we know you guys provide is a secure portal for clients, for financial planners, clients of financial planners. Can you let us know, in your opinion, what the benefits are of having that secure platform?
Yeah, sure, Amanda. So this isn't just about giving clients access to their portfolio valuations, particularly for planners. I mean, the planners are trying to convince clients not to look at that stuff on a daily basis. This is about enhancing your service to serve the underlying needs of why clients came to you in the first place. They want three things, I think: peace of mind, a sense of control, and easy access to their planner and advisor, alongside access to their own personal information. What we've observed through our own infrastructure is that clients want to feel organized, you know, like having a nicely indexed folder structure for all of their important paperwork, not just the documentation that you send to them, but their own stuff too. This gives them peace of mind that it's all in one place and accessible when they need it most. Here's an example for you. So one of our clients last year rocked up at a music festival, didn't have his COVID pass with him. He got turned away at the gates, made it back to the train station. Just as he was about to board the train, he remembered that he'd used our in-app scanning functionality to put a copy of his COVID pass, take a photo of it, into his Moneyinfo secure document vault. An hour later, he was back in the festival, reunited with his mates. And the important thing here is that the kudos was all attributed back to the advice firm for delivering the app and the service.
That's cool. I wouldn't expect that story. Certainly not something that you would expect from it. Yeah, I agree. I guess that for secure communications as well, that's also a big point nowadays, especially with, we learned lots about kind of phishing and stuff like that yesterday at the conference, and that was certainly something that came up as well. Okay, so last question for you this morning, Ollie. This is the big one. This is the exciting one. When we think of the digital client engagement space, and probably the client engagement space as a whole, what are you most excited about? What exciting developments are coming over the next couple of months, years?
Yeah, okay, thanks, Dan. So it's probably worth by starting telling the listeners what we currently provide to set the scene. Just imagine having an app for Apple and Android that you can give to your clients to access their entire wealth, whether you manage it for them or not. You could deliver WhatsApp-style paperless comms. They can store the rest of their important paperwork that we talked about in one place too. And imagine you can automate your client onboarding and annual review packs too, and guide clients through all the necessary steps to sign, approve, and return all of that paperwork back to you, all through your own branded app. Well, that's the power of Moneyinfo, and that's just a bit of what is offered at the moment. With regards to the new developments, those exciting new developments in our space, we've seen huge demand from our existing clients for an integrated digital fact find. That's being delivered imminently to our clients. We're almost ready to launch that. You'll be able to send a collaborative digital fact find to new and existing clients, pre-populated with all of the data pulled straight in from their portal. You can deliver that to them and the planners via your own app, so that they've got the confidence that it's being sent from a trusted source. So again, that helps to offset those concerns with phishing attempts, with the two-factor authenticated app and that sort of thing. We're totally buzzed about it, and we think it's going to revolutionize the way that firms onboard clients.
Yeah, I love the sound of that. I think it's just great having everything in one place as well. So yeah, great stuff. Well, that's the end of our time together, Ollie. Thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Yeah, well, thanks for the airtime. Yeah, thanks for the airtime, Amanda and Dan. And I just wanted to say, if anybody's at the mega conference in a few weeks' time, I think we're in Zone 5, the digital client engagement zone. So come and give us a shout.
Great, we'll see you there. Great, thank you. So next up, we've got a monologue from Ray Adams at CashCalc.
Hi, my name is Ray Adams, Chartered Financial Planner and founder of CashCalc, and now Head of Cash Flow Planning at FE Fund Info. I understand that you're having a next-gen big breakfast this morning, and it should be 8 o'clock with you. You'll be pleased to know I'm pre-recording this. Your event should be entitled The Future of Cash Flow Planning. I've used a bit of poetic license because this is a recording, because I think it's more than that. I think it's about digital engagement and then digitally setting up. But I'll cover that during my talk now. So COVID-19 showed us that we might not always be able to sit face to face with a client, so it forced us to innovate and use the latest technology. Actually, I think that will be a tremendous benefit to financial advisors going forward. So to answer the question, what is digital engagement? It's not an easy phrase there, but basically, normally an advisor would sit with a client, piece of paper in front or 25 pieces of paper called a fact find, and ask the client lots of open and closed questions to get the hard facts and also the soft facts. But digital engagement to me is where that you send a secure link to the client, or let them click a secure link automatically on your website and get the client to input some of those hard facts. What that means is the client has to think about the financial advice ahead of the meeting. It's easy for them straight away just put their name, date of birth, etc. in. But when it comes to pensions, they've actually got to open that Tesco bag and take the papers out and look at them to say, Yeah, I've got 70,000 with this company, 80,000 with that, or whatever. So it automatically engages the client prior to your first meeting. What it also does is the client then, by inputting some of those hard facts, have now made the whole process, or helped you make the whole process, much more efficient. Because instead of it needing to be a 2 to 2.5 hour meeting where you have to say, do you have pensions, and you go through the questions and answers, you can get straight into, I can see you've got 6 pensions dotted around the place, and they all add up to 200,000, and get straight into some soft questions about what their plans are. So to me, by digitally onboarding the client, you engage them, make the process more efficient, and actually can make your meetings more productive. And the great news is the client probably can spell their own name correctly and get their own date of birth correctly. So it should minimize, or at least reduce, errors. And if you could then push that data from the onboarding tool into your cash flow tool, and if you use CashCalc, it's in the same software, so we just use an internal API to get it across. You could then push that data to your chosen back office, and I know as part of NextGen, many of you are using Wealthcraft, and we've got an integration with Wealthcraft, but if some of you are using Xplan or Intelligent Office, IntelliFlow, or Curo, we've got integrations with them as well. So you could push that data to your back office provider. But there's more I want for the future as well, but we'll cover that later. Well, I guess I covered some of that just now. It's becoming more efficient, it's engaging the client, and it's minimizing rekeying, because whoever does the survey, whether it's Langcat or Next Wealth or one of the magazines, the same request comes up from advisors: how can we integrate better and reduce rekeying? My goal is to reduce keying. Not reduce rekeying, reduce keying. Because if we can get the client to type their name, and in my case, Raymond, with an E on the end of Raymond Adams, if I've typed that as the client and we've pushed it to the back office, and the back office then we've pushed it to the attitude to risk questionnaire, and we can then push it to our cash flow tool, and ultimately we can push it to the platform, then actually the advisor or the administrative staff have not typed the client's name at all. So there's no keying. That's my goal, and that's where I think we can get it to. In fact, we could go even beyond that, because in that example, I got the client to type it. But if we can fully utilize open banking and open finance in the future, the client's name is already with their finance or bank provider, and we could pull that in and push it. So it could become even more efficient in the future. That's a great question, and that actually underlines why I chose to join FE Fundinfo. So now we're part of the FE Fundinfo family, we can make the internal integrations between us even better, because as you go through the journey, where I've talked about onboarding and the fact find and maybe pushing it to the attitude to risk questionnaire, of course you need to do fund research, and that's where the FE Analytics comes in. And I'm looking to get little buttons built so you can do the research, bring it across to CashCalc, maybe bring the fund fact sheets back as well, save your normal investment proposition within us so you haven't got to keep rekeying it, map the attitude to risk questionnaire, so if a client comes as a 2 out of 10, it automatically maps to the funds or the MPSs that you use, and they're already there with the fact sheets ready. So we can start intertwining the whole process and make it as seamless as possible. So whilst we're intertwining our softwares, we can use even more of FE Analytics because they've got the investment planner section, and we can look at utilizing both options, crossing over from analytics to CashCalc. And that's one of the benefits of having me and my team of financial advisors, as well as software developers, to be able to say this is what we need to do because this is what our users as financial advisors would benefit from. And whilst I'm saying that myself and my team and you guys will benefit, of course it goes without saying that your clients are then benefiting because we've got a much more efficient process behind the scenes. We're more efficient, we can drive our costs down and give a great price to the client, and hopefully an even better service because they're all fully integrated with each other. So clear benefits for the client too. Well, actually, not necessarily the final piece of the jigsaw, but the next piece of the jigsaw for me is actually the invest, because having brought all this data in and done the research and the attitude risk questionnaire and the fact find, the client will then say, yep, I want to do that, and we need to invest somewhere. Now, what we're doing at the moment is we're choosing our chosen platform and we're rekeying into that platform. So what we need to do is we need to be able to push the data straight to our chosen platform provider. So that then saves name, address, date of birth, simple rekeying, which might not necessarily save you huge amounts, but actually it eliminates errors and makes the process much more efficient. But the pièce de résistance for me is, of course, if we've got the initial integration with the platforms to send them data, what we can then do is bring data back from them ready for your annual review or half yearly or quarterly review. And if we can bring back full transactional history from them, then when you're looking at MiFID II charges, we can then say, well, we can now accurately work out what the custody costs are, investment costs are, and advisor costs are, and we can do that at the press of a button. So instead of it taking you 4 or 5 hours to put a review pack together, there's no reason why this can't take 4 or 5 minutes for the data, and then you put your pack together in less than an hour. So we might only save you 5, 10, 15 minutes on the setup process, but we could be saving you a couple of hours on the review process. And that's the way my brain is working at CashCalc and FE, about intertwining all of these things. So client types their data, you push it all the way in and bring it back ready for your annual review. Then we'll be getting somewhere. Okay guys, they only give me 10 minutes for this recording whilst you're eating your breakfast. So as you know, I could talk all day about the future of financial advice in the UK and how technology can help. So I'll have to draw a line on it there. But I'm at your Next Gen event coming up, so send me a message, come and talk to me, do whatever, because I've got masses of ideas about how we can improve the processes in our industry stroke profession. Good luck with business. Good luck with the future, guys. Thanks very much for listening.
Fantastic. Thank you so much to Ray for that brilliant monologue, and thank you very much to the support from CashCalc this year as sponsors of the mega conference as well. Okay, and where is Amanda? Let's get Amanda back up on the screen.
Yeah.
Who have we got next, Amanda?
Yeah, so now it's time for our big breakfast, big topic. And today we are talking about digital client engagement. So joining us to kick off this segment, we have Caroline and Rob from Ammonite.
Morning, Caroline. How are you doing?
Morning. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm really happy to be here. How are you?
No, it's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for joining us in your busy schedule. It's lovely to have you on board.
No problem.
As Amanda just mentioned throughout the show, and I also did as well, of course, today's big topic is digital client engagement. And I'm really intrigued by the stuff that you guys do at Ammonite, because you call it hybrid advice, or hybrid financial advice technology. Mm-hmm. So just to kind of kick us off, can you give us an idea of what that, because many people use that term in many different ways, but can you give us an idea of what you mean when you say hybrid financial advice technology?
Yeah, sure. So for us, hybrid advice means digitally led with a human touch. It means technology and human advisor working together to give the best advice for clients. You know, we think that a major lesson that was learned from robo-advice was one that actually financial advisors and ourselves as financial advisors already knew, that having a human financial advisor involved is crucial for certain key moments in the customer journey. But advisor time really needs to be used strategically, with technology doing most of the heavy lifting. The right hybrid advice solution can help advisors to show value at every step of the journey, help them to create the best financial plans for clients, and critically, massively cut the time that it takes for advisors to do it.
Great, thanks, Caroline. So, Rob, we'll just bring you in now. What does client engagement look like in the digital world?
So thanks, Amanda. So in terms of client engagement in the digital world, we see this as there's a huge opportunity here, basically, and advisors can reach out to many more clients. They're not having to get in the car and go and prospect or come into the expensive office. So we can reduce cost as well in that respect. But in terms of that digital engagement, essentially we see it as an opportunity to entice new customers in who may not have been thinking about financial advice necessarily. Usually when an advisor will take a piece of business, it will be around there's a need. It's quite reactive in that respect. But the engagement can be one where new marketing campaigns can be built around financial health checks, or really take the opportunity to educate and show that 90% of the UK adult population who are engaging in financial advice, that there's a need. So advisors can get out there, engage digitally, and we think that new user experiences will come about that help improve that financial literacy and improve engagement in this space.
Yeah. You've led us on perfectly to the next question, because I know that this is the one that both of you, and especially Caroline, are most excited about, because what you guys are trying to do with this is trying to bring financial advice, maybe not to the masses, but certainly higher amounts than the current. I think did Rob just say that 90% or something? We all know, don't we, that there's a massive advice gap, and people who have access to advice is vanishingly small in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things you're trying to do, is through using technology, you're trying to make financial planning more accessible. But how do you think that financial planners can get on board with this vision of making financial planning more accessible to again, I keep on saying to the masses, but basically just to more people than at the moment?
Well, to be honest, a lot of the advisors that I've met are already on board with this mission. Advisors care deeply about their clients and doing the best for them. And they want to help as many people as possible. Getting the right financial advice can make a massive difference in people's lives. And that's particularly true if they get that advice early on, and even more true if that person lacks the financial education or knowledge and probably has a lower level of assets. So we really believe that advisors want to help the masses, but they need to earn enough doing it. And they need to make sure that they're not putting their business at risk. So the advice needs to be high quality and compliant and still right for the client. But what's more, advisors, they want to scale their businesses. They want to grow. And they want to spend their time putting their expertise to best use. So we think that technology, and our technology specifically, can enable them to do that.
Great, thanks, Caroline. Rob, what exciting developments have you got at Ammonite in the near future? Sorry, stumbling over my words there.
Thanks, Amanda. In terms of exciting developments for us, we've literally just come to market in the early part of this year with 2 modules of technology, all cloud-based, highly configurable, and white labeled to the advisor. And essentially those 2 modules, one is the discovery session. So it's an online application that is share screen over Zoom or Teams with the advisor and the end prospect. And there's a couple of parts to that. One is a financial health check, then a goal setting exercise, and it's all completely loaded with financial education. And essentially we're bringing, where normally people would come into the office and there'd be body language and a nice coffee and those sorts of things, we feel that the user experience online needs to be that ability to be able to build rapport, show value, educate, build trust and things. It needs to be done. And then also we've got a suitability report builder that sweeps the information from that session, and the suitability report is completely goals based and pushes out suitability report in less than 15 minutes. So we're running a whole load of demos to advisors at the moment. So if anyone wants to reach out to us, we'd be really happy to show them what we've built.
Oh, that sounds great. Thanks, Rob. I think as well, obviously technology, is changing and evolving, and people, prefer to do things in the comfort of their own home as well, and at their own pace, rather than, the traditional meeting people face to face. So yeah, it sounds great. Thank you very much. Right, so we're going to bring Ollie in for our final segment. And Ollie, our last question to you today. What are you most excited to see in the financial planning space over the next decade?
If I had to pick one thing to benefit our industry over the next decade, it would be better, deeper two-way integrations and data sharing between systems. So advice firms can build their own tech stack to create a more personalized client-facing proposition. We're helping them to do that right now, but it's still not always easy.
Great, thank you. So I'll ask the same question to Caroline and Rob. What are you most excited to see in the financial planning space in the next decade?
So I'm actually really excited to see the growth in the industry. There's so many more people out there that need financial advice than that currently access it.
Yeah.
And the financial advice firm that really embraces technology, there are huge opportunities out there for them. So yeah, I'm excited to see that growth in the industry.
Great, thanks. Rob, have you got any further thoughts?
Yeah, it's just that accessibility of advice, so getting it out into the general public. And, we've got the big intergenerational wealth transfer coming over the next decade. And those 30 and 40-year-old clients, they're going to be inheriting, they're going to be moving up their career paths. So the technology that is going to enable us to get in front of those customers is going to be key for advisors. So that's super exciting, and just having more people actually realize the value that financial advisors bring to people. I think it's hidden under a rock sometimes, and we need to get that out there more, that it can make a huge difference to people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And I'm in that category as well. Like, I never even thought about, taking on financial advice. And then my partner was a financial planner, and then we sort of got involved in it. And I always thought, because, I wasn't at a certain level, I didn't need it. So it's nice now to see that that's being spread out to everybody. So
Definitely.
yeah, it's great. Well, thank you so much, guys, for coming onto the show today, talking about this important topic. And thank you to Ray Adams for his amazing monologue as well. It's been great.
Yeah, well, look at this. We're all tiny dots now because there's so many of us on screen. But thank you so much to everyone for coming on today. Thank you to you, Ollie. Thank you to you guys at Ammonite, so Caroline and Rob. And of course, a big thank you to Ray for his fantastic monologue as well. It's been lovely to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
So that is it for today's show. What do we have this afternoon, Amanda? What are we looking at this afternoon? We're looking at the same topic.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Fantastic. What time will we be back?
We'll be back at 4:30 on the dot.
Brilliant. Well, yeah, we'll be back at 4:30 this afternoon. We on the show this afternoon, we have Andre Costa from Advice Front. We have Yasmina Sayadatan from Dynamic Planner. And we also have a special highlight from last year's Next Gen 21 conference with someone very special from America as well. And that is all around asking great questions and listening to your clients. So that'll be a very, very good one to tune in for. But thank you so much to everyone for joining us on today's show. Thank you guys for watching as always. And we'll see you at 4:30 p.m. this afternoon. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.